Apologies for the delay. Beekeeping realtor style. We were out keeping the bees today and got a little bit hung up. So we're going to be a little bit here to get started because I got to get all our tabs open, make sure everything's going smooth. We'll probably start a little late here, like give or take 6:10. Again, I'm probably going to struggle with the privacy button like we always do, but we will make it work here. So we'll be back in just a minute. All right, here we go. So, today, everyone, we're going to be talking about the market and we're going to be changing things up for this channel as a whole. So, going forward, we're going to be having a subject every single month. This month, we're going to be covering short term rentals, Airbnbs, AirDNA, that kind of stuff. Next month, we're going to be talking about senior housing, and we're going to have a bunch of special guests and a bunch of special stuff. So, if you're interested in short term rentals, now's the month. Bring your questions. We're going to go over in depth. Next month, if you know anyone that's into senior housing, anything like that, next month is the month. So, for today, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the market. And then next week, we're going to be going over short-term rentals specifically and everything about them. So today, if you guys have any questions about the market, what area is going up, what area is going down, any of that kind of stuff, today is the day to ask. So first and foremost, let's check out how the market is doing. If we do this guy and we share screen, where'd we go? I want to just share the window. This guy. Sorry, doing things live are always a little bit clunky, but that's okay. So we'll share just this whole window. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, if you guys can see, looks like you guys can. Oh, wait, we're breaking buttons. Give me a second. Broke everything. Come Gotta turn this guy off. There we go. So I'm hiding now. Yes. Okay. Now you guys should be able to see my screen. So for the market for Ventura County, we are typically going to see everything go up in the summer. Now, the big question is if it does go up, how much? And then additionally, like, how does it look compared to this time last year? Because it can go up a bunch, but is it going up as much as it normally does in the summer, or is it less? So overall, the main story here is going to be the number of listings, right? We look at the number of active listings, it's only 886. That is less than the 899 this time last month. So there's actually less to pick from than last month, even though we are, are in the summer and we are going a little bit crazy here. The number of sold listings is 555, which is up from the 478 we had last month, but it's not up by much, especially for summer, right? And that's mostly because our number of new listings, again, really down 579 last month. Month before, we had only 555 in May. Usually we see a lot of new listings hitting the market. And the number of pending listings or sold listings are pending listings. Pending listings are 471 compared to 478. So it actually went down. So that is going to be the majority of our story here today, is that everything is being controlled by a shortage of just overall number of listings. Can I bring this out so that then you guys don't see it? Does that work? That works. Wonderful. Okay. So generally just no listings. So if you're thinking about selling, even with interest rates up and everything else that's going on, there's no competition. There's nothing for sale. I have a farm. A farm is an area that you send mailers to, that you door knock in, you are active in that community, of around 1,500 homes, and we still haven't seen any listings since like October. So if one house were to go for sale, it would be the first house since October to go for sale in that community. And if you don't think it's going to get top dollar, I mean, it is what it is. And it's showing up here in the prices, right? So overall, we're seeing prices increasing. And again, it's not because there's just an overwhelming number of buyers. It's because there's a completely underwhelming number of sellers. So our median sales price did bump up from 800 to 835. And overall, people are asking more. These numbers over here I care less about, because like the active price, but the sold price does matter, right? So the sold price even went up 986 for countywide as an average. So up $20,000 month over month. Absorption rate is going up slightly, which means that we are seeing slightly more of a buyer's market than we did last month, but nowhere near as good of a buyer's market as we saw in like August of 22. But even still, we want to see, it depends on the expert you talk to. A lot of experts say that you need 6 months of inventory for it to be a buyer's market. Some people say 4 months. Either way, we're at a fraction of what we need for it to be a buyer's market. So it's a spectacularly strong seller's market right now. And we are seeing prices go up, so the sold to list ratio is creeping up. Overall days to sell, median countywide, that's average. I don't like average because there's always outliers that really mess it up. But the average days on market, CDIM is like how many days it actually took to sell, because some houses fail to sell when they're under contract, come back on the market. So the overall average days is 41, but the average day from like listed to sold, if you don't fall out, is 34. Price volume, I don't care about this too much. It's the total amount of inventory we have. We know it's down. Everything else is down, right? Let's see here real quick. Like I said, guys, if you got any questions, comments, anything like that, let me know. Where'd we go? So we are year over year. It's a crazier year than it was this time last year. Our absorption rate is lower, which means it's a stronger seller's market than it was this time last year, like a 13%, 14% almost stronger seller's market. The average list price is down. The median list price is down, but the median sales price is slightly up, right? So list price, who cares? You can ask for $1 billion for your house, but the median sales price is what matters. So the median sales price is up year over year now, or countywide by $5,000. So overall, it's a super strong seller's market. It's really, really tough to be a buyer right now. It's insane. Great time to be a seller right now. I will happily work with buyers. I will never say no to buyers, but I'm not actively marketing towards buyers because of how just crazy it is. Now, that being said, if I switch over to here, let me just double check that it's showing the right tab. Wonderful. On the same note that we are looking at Airbnbs for this month, it's fun to look at the Airbnb market. So rental demand at an all-time high. It's almost never been higher, okay? People are starting to go on vacations, doing fun stuff, and believe it or not, in Ventura County, we have a really high demand. Now, I don't look at every single city for Airbnbs to get a metric of this because Airbnbs have very strict specific rules per city. For example, the city of Camarillo, it should be very hard to get an Airbnb. A lot of people still do it because they don't get in trouble. But when we're looking at like a county-wide metric, Newbury Park has the most county land and has the most relaxed rules for Airbnb. So this is typically the place to look. So when we're looking at overall, most people are on Airbnb. 23% are on VRBO, 18% are listed on both. When we're looking at the number of rentals, they came down slightly. We lost one of them. We had 85. It came down slightly in this first quarter. We're going to see what's going to happen from here. But right now, Airbnbs are popping off. Everyone is deciding to not sell and to Airbnb instead. Let me see. Where'd my other activity go? Rental activity. Yeah, so we're seeing like a lot of booking time. Right now, 33% of Airbnbs are available full time. But overall, they're getting booked up. Our average daily rate right now is 277. Average occupancy rate is 80%, which is really high. And the average monthly revenue for an Airbnb is $4,006. So Airbnbs right now are, revenue-wise a little bit down, occupancy rate a little bit up, daily rate kind of hanging steady because we did go from having something like 40 Airbnbs in town. What was it? It was 45 up to having 80, 85. So Airbnbs are a hot thing right now. I'm concerned that if you are just getting to the Airbnb game, you might have a hard time because it's going to be hard to get all your stars if you wait too much longer, right? To get your high ranking and all that kind of fun stuff. But Airbnbs are still very viable here in the county and in the city. You should be a little bit mindful of your competition because as we look at, daily rate, it was going crazy beginning of the year. It's going to go up again as we get into the summer here. We're probably going to get back up to $400 plus dollars a day. When we look at, let's see, what else can we look at here? Either way, Airbnbs are up and doing good, and it is a good time to have one. I would say it's also a tough time to buy one because Airbnbs right now, like with interest rates, you're going to have a really good cash flow. But, in general, on average, they're looking about $4,000 a month. But you have to keep in mind that this doesn't impact everyone across the county evenly. Some of our biggest winners here is going to be Westlake Village. While everyone else had a very slight price increase, median sales price, had a very slight price increase year over year. Westlake is currently seeing an 8.9% price increase year over year. So Westlake prices are skyrocketing. Sold to list ratio over 100%, better than anyone else. Listing price, I guess sold median is down month over month, but like I said, it's up a tremendous amount year over year, and it's not a big deal. It's a minor blip there. So Westlake really, really popping off. If you're in Westlake, it's never been a better time to sell. I have seen a lot of people in Westlake saying things along the lines of like their price of their home is too high, so they're having a hard time, or something similar. If you don't price your house right, it's not going to sell in this market because it's already really tough for buyers. So if you're aiming for the moon, you're not going to get it. But if you're reasonable and you're putting it up for a good price, you're going to get bidding wars. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be crazy. So Westlake is going to be one of our biggest winners. They also, I believe, have one of the lowest days on market at 28. On the other hand, when we look at Ventura City, their days on market are actually are they the lowest? Lowest special about Ventura County? Were they the one that went up the highest? Let me double check. Median sales price. Yeah, so Ventura City median sales price is down 5% year over year. So Ventura is a little bit slower than everyone countywide. So when we're talking about what your plan is for this summer, if you're going to be moving, let me see if I can fix this really quick. Can I just cancel that? There we go. So if you guys have questions about specific cities, we can look at anything in the whole world. But for right now, the general thing is that if you're looking to buy, I know a lot of people are trying to hold on and wait for things to change. And by the way, this is kind of funny. I got stung on both hands today, so my knuckles are kind of disappearing as we're doing the live. But if you're looking to buy right now, I know a lot of people are thinking that they should wait for the market to crash and wait for everything else. But unless something really spectacular happens and everyone starts selling, it's just going to keep going up. We don't have sellers showing up. Sellers don't want to sell. They don't want to move. Majority of the sales we're seeing are because people have to, either because of job relocation, divorce, someone died, something like that. And even still, a lot of those people are opting to rent it out. So we're not going to have inventory anytime soon, short of something spectacular happening. So if you're looking at buying, it's just not going to get better. Interest rates, I don't think are going to get better. No conditions really seem to be getting better. If you're looking at selling, it depends what you're selling for. I think that a lot of people are opting to rent. I don't love that idea, mostly because everyone is opting to rent. So I think the rental market is going to get really saturated, and we're going to have a harder time as a landlord here eventually. I don't think it'll be right away, but I think that it will be over the next year or so, unless something changes. There's going to be a lot of rentals really pushing down the price of rentals and making that whole situation less good for landlords. So I think that landlords should be more inclined to sell than to rent out, at least if it was me. And past that, it depends on what you're doing with the property. If you're trying to sell it to do something, I think now's the time. I'm worried the interest rates are going to keep going up. So even if you wait, again, prices aren't going down. So if you wait to sell your property and buy another, sure, you'll get more for the sale of your house, but it'll probably even out on the purchase of your next house. And then you're going to have a higher rate. So you're going to probably be able to get less house. So if you're thinking about moving, I would do it sooner rather than later, even though it's hard. If you're thinking about just getting rid of it, you can wait, but I think this summer is going to be one of the best times this year to sell. Summer is usually one of the strongest times to sell in general. So, and I think this year is going to be particularly good. There are some experts that are saying that initially they were saying that in the summer we're going to have a crash, not a catastrophic crash, but like a correction, a slight price drop. Now they're kind of pushing their projections out to fall. So, again, it depends on who you listen to, but at this current moment, I would be inclined to want to sell this summer if selling's in the near horizon, whether you are upgrading, downsizing, or doing anything in between. I think this summer is going to be one of the best times to sell that we're going to have for a while, but no one really knows. We'll find out, eventually soon. So in the meantime, unless anyone has any questions, we're going to call that a market update. Like I said, please check in. This month's going to be short-term rental month. We're going to be making all kinds of content just about short-term rentals. So if you want to learn more about those, hang tight. And if that's a subject you don't care about, check in every month. We're going to have a new subject every month for the next year. So we're going to be covering everything from buying, selling, luxury, probate, everything in between. We're going to have a month dedicated to it, along with the certification to show that I kind of know what I'm talking about. So, if anyone needs anything, you know what to do. Call Castro, and I'll talk to you guys soon.